All right, I'm going to bundle two special teams questions together because it's a third of the game, as my old college coach used to say. You got to talk about
Coaches
it.
love that.
Yeah, I did not play special teams in college. I was
It's kind of a flex, honestly, for you.
Far too slow. I played in high school. I was a punt returner until I got too slow by my junior year. I could catch, but I couldn't return.
You were reliable back there.
Reliable
That's why.
hands. That was a Jim Leonard style.
I was just going to say, the Jets love that with Jim Leonard.
Just fair catch. Yep. That's it. Down maybe 3 yards of return. All right, this one from Michael. What should be our expectations for Chris Banjo's special team unit this year? Has he done it before? Who the heck is going to be kicking for us? And then another one from Hudson Jet. If we keep 2 roster spots for returners, like Pritchett or Gibson, and Irv Charles becomes expendable, who is on the 53 as the Gunners? So bigger picture with Banjo. I mean, this is the most senior job he's had in the league as special teams, a guy who played in the NFL. We're very happy they made a change there. Boyer ran his course, right? He had some peaks, he had some valleys. He seemed to just stay here forever. Last year, the Jets were sneakily awful on special teams. Not just the kicking woes, the return game, the coverage. It's just bad. And they never fixed it. They're just like throwing Isaiah Davis and Gibson back there.
Jets were just a bad team.
They had no feel for like the new return rules. They had no plan. Even the game where they had the kick return for a touchdown, they still lost. Like it just wasn't great. Morstead was fine, but it's all right. They made a change of punter. So with Banjo, like I hope that there's flexibility and adaptability at the returner position. It's not like Gibson, this is your job in perpetuity and no one's pushing you and we're just going to kind of mail it in on kick returns. A lack of stupid penalties. The Jets Gunners, led by Irv Charles, always got stupid penalties. They would get to the returner early. They would line up off sides. Like ridiculous. Some of the penalties that they got or regularly got with that unit. And with kicker, I guess Anders Carlson is the leader in the clubhouse right now. There's rumors they could look at Rodrigo Blankenship for.
Yeah, they have a rookie, Caden Davis, competing with him too, who has a real shot to win the job.
It's kind of a question mark, which is a scary thing. Maybe you stumble into the right answer, but it's definitely something to monitor. Like Carlson's Carlson, and it's a rookie, so who the hell knows, right? And maybe that changes. Throughout the summer, someone shakes free. The gunner thing. They proactively brought Charles back. Now, he's hurt. I don't think he's going to be ready until maybe the middle of the season. So he's going to start the year probably on the PUP list. From a gunner POV, what was it? Did they sign like a UDFA who specifically is just a gunner? Like that was the reason they signed, like a linebacker they brought in?
Yeah, it was a guy from Florida that was truly just this freak show special teams guy. He didn't even play a lot of base defense.
Great. So they're like 3 draft picks on special teams guy and signed 5 UDFAs who are built to be special teams guys.
They really, like if Arian Smith, who's already unfortunately on the bike, it looks like at OTAs or was before. I mean, his best contribution as a rookie should be as a gunner. It's like
Can he tackle though? Is he heavy enough to tackle?
He is slender. He is like a.
Are we asking an 165-pound receiver to tackle in the open field?
You are just hoping that he runs fast enough to get down there to make the guy call for a fair catch. Or, I mean, he could tackle when, it's kind of a bang-bang situation. But yeah, for his problems where they took him, because of his legit track speed, he was a capable gunner at Georgia. But it goes back to your point, like, how many special teams picks do we need here? Yeah, that always used to. It's funny when you talk to execs, not GMs, execs that work side by side with the GM because they're not making this decision usually, depending on the structure. It's something that always will piss them off when I talk to them. When I go like, "Hey, man, what were you doing on day 3?" And I swear I've heard this quote like 10 times from 10 different people. They're like, "Fucking GM, let the special teams coach take over the draft room. I need this guy. I need this guy."
And then play 6 snaps a game.
They get so like frustrated. But special teams coaches, understandably, they want to keep their jobs. So like, I need this if you want my unit to be good. I need this. But ironically, the Jets unit is a real random cast of characters right now.
I mean, I feel like the returner job should be wide open. I mean, Gibson,
and you do not keep 2.
No, you can't do that.
No.
I think you got to have that be an open competition, and God willing, they're better and more stable in those spots. They had a few years ago. They had Hardy, who was All Pro as a special teamer. I don't know what happened. He's kind of like out of the league now. Not that long ago, they had Andre Roberts, who was an All Pro punt and kick returners,
and they had a contract problem with him, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've had their moments, throughout their history with the Leon Washingtons, the Brad Smiths, the Justin Millers. Like it makes a difference. You're better there, and you got to be better than Gibson. I don't want to pick on Gibson.
Well, you had Wanwu.
Yeah,
Was that last year? Yeah, last year.
He's back, and he brought one back last year. So he
Right.
should be probably. Is he not the front runner to at least be the kick returner? I don't think he returned punts, but
see, and that's where the issue lies.
It's a whole different beast returning punts.
In 4 years, Wanwu has returned 4 kicks for touchdowns. That's actually insane.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, that is really, really insane when you think of how hard it is in the kickoff rule. So he's certifiably the best kick returner they have.
Yes. But that's all he does on the roster, right? Is he going to be a gunner? Is he going to be on cover units? He's not going to play running back. So he's...
And this is the issue.
Gibson right now, Gibson's your 4th, 5th receiver. Like he would...
Yeah. So here's a little issue with it's a numbers game, right? Every team wants to keep one return man that returns punts and kicks. But with the new rules, this is actually an issue that, look at Wanwu, right? He is 6'1", 210 pounds, and he's every bit of it. He's a big guy. He's a running back.
Yeah.
What I've been told from some special teams people is that, and it makes sense, now with the new kick return rules, you typically want, and this is why they probably put Isaiah Davis back there too, you want guys that can run through some tackles on the kick returns because that's kind of the way it's structured. The problem is a lot of those guys are not natural punt returners because there's so much nuance to returning punts, whether it's field awareness, whether it's catching the ball, and anyone listening to this that's ever caught a punt before, it is
hard as hell.
It is so freaking hard, especially at MetLife. It's very hard at MetLife. So if we ever strike a deal with a team, we'll do that. That'll be one of our first content things. Everybody from the Badlands staff has to catch a punt with the MetLife win. We'll do it in December, not in September.
December in MetLife. Bring us in.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. But so you have think of Gibson, right? Gibson's a solid punt returner, not spectacular, but solid.
Generally catch it.
He could typically catch it. Or even when Barrios was a good punt returner, and I don't know what happened to him.
Okay, he was an all-pro too. I can't believe I forgot about him.
Right. Barrios was actually a good just return man in general, and then he kind of fell off. So the problem is you don't want to keep just a return man that only can do one of the 2 returns. But most of the guys now, this is what's so frustrating with me with Corley. If I was the Jets, and maybe they did this to be fair, I would have sat down with Corley and been like, listen, we know you think you're a big-time receiver and all that, and we still have hopes that you could be that. If there's anything we want you to come back to camp with is, can you catch 50 to 100 punts a day? Because Corley is 215 pounds. He's extremely strong. He has good contact balance. He can't do a lot of receiver things. But with the ball in his hands, and this is why I would have moved Corley to running back this year, but they have a million running backs they already like. Corley can, you would think, return kicks. You would think, once again, I don't know if he's willing or if but he doesn't have the skill set to return punts. But he is built like a guy that should be able to do both. So, but he can't. I know it hasn't worked. So it is kind of a bit of a conundrum, right? Where, man, it's going to be, and then Pritchett. Yeah, Pritchett is an undrafted rookie that was a Senior Bowl guy that is a good return man. But once again, you can't roster multiple of these guys. You can't. One was the best return guy on the team. So if he's the best, just keep him and let him return kicks.
Yeah, and maybe he flips the field for you a few times to get you some points, and you figure the rest out, and hopefully, some of these rotational defensive pieces can help contribute at gunner, and you have Stigger still, and maybe JBC, and they could get into some of those roles and make an impact from a coverage POV. So we'll see how it shakes out. The special teams, this one from Drew Day Rock.